to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because on the air, and glad to be here on another Friday. This is Friday the 20, what is the day? Today is the 10th of February. Another great month in store. We are also still celebrating Black History Month. Got some folks out here ain't too happy about it. They're trying to do everything in their power to erase our history. And when you erase a people's history, you are in essence erasing them as well. So we have to check these people. So welcome again. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and I am a business developer by trade. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. You can find me at gatewoodmarketing.com. You can also go to marketingpulpit.com and find out all about the show. Listen to past shows, upcoming shows, guests, get information that can help you with your business. Just go to Marketing Pulpit and type in a topic. If you want to find out more about social media, go to Marketing Pulpit and type it in the search bar. You can also go to YouTube. We have a very vibrant YouTube channel that has much information going back a few years on practically any topic you can imagine. We're also on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn. And of course, we'll have archives and snippets on Instagram. So thank you again. Thank you again. I'm also an adjunct professor at Prince George's Community College, where I teach marketing and networking and social media strategies. Also written 2 books, one called Played in Full and one called Smarter Than the Boss. So I've been at this for a moment, and thank you again for tuning in on this particular day. We have an exciting show today. We're going to talk about later in the show. Have you been dumped by a customer lately? In this month of love, we have the Valentine's Day coming up on, I think it's on Tuesday. What day is that? Tuesday. So we call this the month of love. So we want to show our customers some love, and sometimes that love is unrequited. So we're going to talk about why a customer might leave you. As good as you are, why would anybody leave your company? So we're going to talk about that coming up later in the show. We're going to talk about some items in the news, and we're just ready to get down and find out more about marketing on the Marketing Pulpit Show. Because the whole concept behind the show is to build these businesses so that we can put people to work. Because I personally am tired of our people going to other people's communities looking for work. When we have all of this talent and resources in our community, we can build our own businesses and institutions and hire our own people and put our young people to work so they can stop going out here acting fool. Give them something to do. So that's the mission of the show. I'm not doing this for any type of fame or fortune or grandeur. I have my own company to do that. That's Gatewood Marketing and Web. This is my way of giving something back and leaving something behind that will help us as a community. Everybody needs to do what they can do to help further our cause. This is also American Heart Month. So it's a great opportunity to focus on heart health and minimize stress and stressful situations that can trigger chest pains. And that could actually, we call it the broken heart syndrome. So do things in this month to help keep your heart healthy. Also, this is National Cancer Prevention Month. So once again, we want to control our controllables. Rest, exercise, drink water, get your rest. That can help retard cancer and heart disease and problems. So we want to do what we can do to keep you around. This is also on February 11th, which is tomorrow, Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. And February has quite a few observances. Now, what I like about that particular day is that I agree that sometimes things don't go your way. Sometimes you miss an opportunity. You didn't get a job. You didn't get a contract. Don't cry over it. You didn't buy that Tesla stock when it was $10 a share. The opportunity is like a train. You miss one, there's another one right behind it. So that's what I like about the don't cry over spilled milk day. Okay? Yes, sometimes we don't get the break we think we should have gotten, but don't use up your precious psychic energy worrying about it. Move on. So that's tomorrow. Don't cry over spilled milk day, but you get a head start today. We have the Super Bowl coming up on February 12th. That's this coming Sunday. We have history being made by two black quarterbacks, Rick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, the Kansas City Chiefs and Philadelphia Eagles, respectively. So history is being made as we speak. But there's a lesson to be learned in anything, including the Super Bowl. You don't want to spend your entire business life throwing Hail Mary passes. You want to plan, you want to strategize, you want to have a ground game and mix it up. Have a mixture of proven, successful strategies and keep getting better. Bring in the talent you need. Okay? So let's look at these things that are going on around us and let's find the lesson in them, including the Super Bowl. I mean, you have to throw a Hail Mary every now and then. I've thrown a few myself. Arm ain't what it used to be, but this old brain is still sharp. So let's pick up these lessons. And of course, we have Valentine's Day coming up on February 14th. And so you want to show your business some love. Invest in your business. Get the resources and the help you need. Don't just let things happen and be. Okay, and also, you're going to find some of you have been dumped by some clients and customers. And we're going to talk about the reason that it may have happened and is not the reason you think. So you definitely want to stick around for that. We're going to talk about business love and unrequited love when it comes to business. So that's going to be an exciting, marketing sermon coming up in the second half of the show. I'd like to welcome everybody who's tuning in for the first time. Thank you very much. And we'd like to recognize and give homage to our regular listeners like attorney Bradley Thomas. Bless his heart, a good brother. It's glad to have him tuning in every Friday. He has his own show on Thursday on Facebook. And so glad to have him joining us, as many of you. And if you want to get a shout out, just put your name in the feed. If you're on LinkedIn or Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, just drop a note on the feed and we'll recognize you and give you a shout out. I see your numbers. I know you're listening because I can see the numbers, but I don't see your name until you put a comment into the feed. So thank you, Brother Thomas, for that. I'd like to welcome our sponsor, recognize our sponsor, BLE Executive Suites, Miss Bernadette Clay and Company. That's another young lady who's doing things to help. She's making history right now. I'm just going to tell you. They have those 3 magnanimous locations, one in Largo, where we broadcast this show every Friday. We have one in National Harbor, and we have a location in College Park, which is a hub zone. So if you're a business and you want to show your business some true love, call BLE and let them help you grow that company, either through private offices, virtual services, phone services, mailboxes, training rooms, conference rooms. They have the help you need, and I'm right over here. So if you come to the Largo office, you might even bump into me walking around over here. This is where my studio is. So call BLE if you're trying to grow that business and show your business some love in 2023. You can call them at 301-322-1700 or go to blesuites.com. And you've probably seen their ads on Facebook and, of course, sponsoring this show. And they understand and they're doing it right. Good morning, Brother Rory. Thank you for tuning in. He's a regular listener to the show. Glad to see you joining us this morning. And also, if you have a website, if you need a website or web services, Gatewood Business, Gatewood Biz, gatewood.biz, we have the web services as good as they get. You might be thinking about going to Google or GoDaddy or HostGator or this company and that company, but you have a company right in your community called gatewood.biz we offer the exact same services and probably at a lower price. Plus, you get me. I mean, I may not answer the phone, but if I see your name and if you have a problem that sometimes you can't get through to the 800 number or can't get people online, then I will pick up the phone every now and then and say, hey, let's talk about why that domain is not pointing to your website, or why that SSL certificate is showing that your website is dangerous, or if you've been hacked. And everything in my company that I sell and offer, I'm proud to say this, that I can actually do myself, whether it's design, whether it's technology, programming, coding, website development, business plan, marketing strategies. I've been doing this stuff for a long time, and I don't do it all, thank goodness. I have staff now, but I'm glad to state that I can actually help you. Also, we're going to be talking about our sermon today. Have you been dumped by a company lately? Did they just show you the door? Have you been crying in your coffee? Well, later in the show, we're going to talk about unrequited business love. Why do companies leave you? And the reasons might not be what you think they are. So you definitely don't want to miss that. We're also going to talk about a couple of items in business news. When we come back, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to talk about this attack on Black history down in Florida. We're going to talk about some things that are happening on social media. And then we're going to jump into our sermon today on why do companies leave. So hang on. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. And so, but before we go to the break, what I want you to do is go to, if you're listening through WOL, if you see these white things in my ear, those are not hearing aids. Actually, these are earbuds that allow me to communicate with the engineer over at Radio 1, 95.9 FM and 1450 AM. This show is broadcast all over the world through the WOL app. And you can also get this show on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, and LinkedIn. So welcome. If you want to see my ugly mug, you can go to marketingpulpit.com. You'll see me sitting right there on the screen talking to you. And go ahead and follow us. Go to our YouTube and follow the show. And we'll be glad to have you as a follower. So hang on a second. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go anywhere. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we'll be back in about a minute. We are back. Thank you again for tuning in. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host, and we are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel, not saving souls. My dad did that. He was a Baptist minister, and I named the show Marketing Pulpit to honor him, as we should do. We should honor our forefathers, parents, people that have made us what we are. My dad was a small business owner. He had a small grocery store. He got a loan from the Great Society program by Lyndon Johnson. And so just have to remember, people, that your children are watching. Okay, they're going to, whether you like it or not, and they won't even tell you, but they are paying attention. So many of the things that you do, whether you mandate it or just by doing, your kids are watching. So that's why we have to do the right thing at all times. let's talk about some items in the news. The Reverend Al Sharpton is leading a protest down in Florida. Governor DeSantis plan to ban certain parts of civil rights of Black history. They had this AP program, and he kicked it off the table back to the drawing board. And also the students. This was interesting to watch. A lot of these students from the Florida State University are also protesting this push to defund and close diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on campuses. So I say hats off to Reverend Sharpton and to the students of Florida State University who are doing the right thing. This is wrong what they're doing in Florida. They try to dress it up and make it legitimate, but this is nothing but a whitewashing of history. You're telling people that, well, we don't want to make our little kids, little Susan, little Tiffany feel bad by teaching them the truth. Sometimes the truth hurts, but by spreading, by whitewashing, what do you think about our kids? I mean, you're worrying about your kids, but you're not worrying about our kids, that they don't get this information. We can get rid of all of that by just telling the truth, telling it like it happened, and let the chips fall where they may. Now, a school down in New York, up in New York, they got in trouble. Good morning, Marsha, down in Texas. Thank you for tuning in this morning. We got folks tuning in from all over the United States and the world, because we do have people tuning in from the continent of Africa, from Europe. And so thank you for tuning in from wherever you are. A school in Nyack, New York, got in trouble because during Black History Month, they brought in a menu of watermelon and fried chicken to kick off the Black History Month. Man, it's hard to be Black sometimes, I'm telling you. Because as much as I hate the stereotype, I love the fruit. Now, I don't eat watermelon like they used to show in these cartoons and these derogatory stereotypes, the big rind, and you got the big white lips and spitting out seeds and barefoot. But I do like that's a good, fresh, delicious fruit, but we understand the tropes and the stereotypes that go with it. And I do have to question the motives of this food preparer who happened to prepare that particular meal. Maybe they just need more information, or maybe they need to understand Black history, Ron DeSantis. Maybe they just need to understand why these things are offensive and why we need to continue to educate people. Black history is not just for Black kids. Black history is for everyone to understand the history of this country. Okay? We're still having problems out here on the internet. A New York police officer off duty was shot trying to buy a Honda through an online ad. I'm just going to say this to say, be safe out there. If you're making your living, if you're doing transaction, conducting commerce on social media or online in general, you must take precautions. And I would say, if you can get it through some traditional mean, exercise some of those means first. And I know sometimes we see these prices we can't refuse, and we take this route of going online to find either sometimes products, a mate, who knows what else. Just be careful, okay, folks? There's some really vicious people out here. And so you have to take those precautions as you're doing these transactions, particularly online. They're still locking up people over this PPP fraud, this payroll protection plan that they offered during the pandemic. A glamorous real estate broker, she was arrested for receiving about $381,000. And of course, she flaunted it online, and now she's going to be spending a little time. Beyonce's Renaissance World tickets go on sale. I'm kind of torn about this, that people are spending this kind of money. But the tickets really start about $130, $150, and they go up into the tens of thousands of dollars. Depends on where you. I think that over at when they come to DC, the top ticket's around $7,000 a ticket, and that could go up when you start counting scalpers and things like that. Well, whatever the range is, I would say if you I give much hats off to the success of Beyonce, but don't put it's like I say around Christmas time. Don't put yourself in danger or financial peril trying to buy these tickets. We can honor Beyonce in other ways. We can buy her records. We can build a statue or monument to her, but let's show some restraint when we spend our money in ways that we can't get some type of return. And like I say, I'm not, and I say that not to take anything away from Beyonce. I think she's very deserving of all the awards she gets, but at the same time, we got work to do. We have businesses to grow. We have kids to put through school. We have to support these other businesses that need our money and our support. So let's weigh it against everything else we have to do. Eggs prices are going down. They've gone up to about almost $5 a carton, and now they're down back about. They're coming down. They haven't come down yet, but the wholesale prices are about 50% of what they were a month ago. So that's good news. Let's get into our sermon for the day. And once again, you're listening to the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m., bringing you the good marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses. Thank everybody for tuning in. First-time listeners and callers, thank you. And for the ones who have been hanging in there with me, thank you very much. Love the support and much love to you on this month of love and on this Black History Month. Well, we're going to talk about why customers might leave you. Many of you provide excellent, phenomenal service, and there is no reason under the sun that anybody should leave you as a client or a customer. At least that's where you think, that's what you feel about it. So, but like in any relationship, things end. Things do happen to end. Now, before you go out here and say, I gave you the best years of my life, how dare you dump me and leave me on the side of the road? Before you start crying in your coffee, I just want to say this to you. It may not have anything to do with you or your level of service. Okay? So let's cheer up, shake it off. We already talked about, this is tomorrow, February 11th, is going to be Don't Cry Over Spilled Milk Day. Let's put this in that category. So you lost a client. Let's talk about some of the reasons clients leave. Number one, sometimes they just found a cheaper alternative. That doesn't mean it was the right decision, but they may have found a cheaper way to do what you're offering. Another thing that happens sometimes, and this, like I said, had nothing to do with you. You did what you were supposed to do. Sometimes they bring that service in-house. Let's say if you're a web designer, you're building a website. You may have built the website, but now they just hired a sharp receptionist or a sharp technology person that's going to take that over. They may decide to bring that in-house to give that person something to do and not have to spend that extra money on you. So don't take that personal. This may not have been anything to do with you. Also, people tend to sometimes, when Susie just got out of college, little Jermaine just got his web design degree, and they want to give their kids, they want to bring it into the family. Sometimes that happens, it happens a lot. Don't take it too personal. Now, what I do want you to do to understand, though, these doors never really close. So how you exit that relationship can determine whether or not they will be back. And believe me, people, they do come back. I've been on the receiving end, and whenever somebody say Gatewood, it was been nice, I'm saying to myself under my breath, you'll be back. And so often did they do. So don't take it too personal and don't get too bent out of shape, because many times, if your service is good, they will come back. Sometimes there's a change of management, and sometimes people just bring their own people. It has nothing to do with you. So don't take it too personal. People relocate. They move to another part of town, another city, and sometimes that new location may require them to be more closer to the action where they are, and they may decide to go with a different company. Okay? Sometimes people are downsizing, going out of business. It wasn't about you. Don't take it personal. Hold your head up, stick your chest out. It wasn't personal. Sometimes they want to bring all their services under one company. And that's why I always telling people to create your own ecosystem. They may say, look, well, we got a web company, we got a hosting company, we got a domain company. I want to put it all under one umbrella because I'm tired of keeping up with 15 email addresses and passwords. Can we just put it under one, dealing with 15 different people? So they want to put it under one umbrella. That's why you have to be that one umbrella, build yourself an ecosystem so you have that ability to serve all those different needs. Also, there are industry-specific services out here. Like I don't like to deal with real estate companies, not because I can't deal with them, because they have real estate companies that have built website models and marketing programs that I'm just not going to be able to match. And sometimes people go to those type of companies. Sometimes they're mission creep. People have just got into the service and they wanted more than their budget would allow. Sometimes there's buyer's remorse. People just didn't think it through. But then sometimes it is on you. Sometimes your service just wasn't up to it. Sometimes your brand was weak. You had a weak brand. And when you have a weak brand, you don't get the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you're not keeping up with technology, or the perception is that you're not keeping up. And this is the big one. You do have to communicate. This is the number one reason that people leave. The communication broke down. It just wasn't there. They felt like you weren't staying in top. When you onboarded them, you didn't give them the next steps. So communicate, ladies and gentlemen, and that will help cut out some of this unrequited love. As we go into 2023, the month of love, keep communicating and keep the love alive. Folks, that's going to wrap it up for today. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. We'll be back next week. And thank you again, Idea Gear. We'll see you next week. And don't go anywhere. If you want to be successful, you got to do these three things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you have to do it right. Enough talk. Let's get to work. Man, you got to serve at all times. Let me tell you something, folks. You can't go wrong by serving. Just serve. Do something for somebody. Do something for yourself. Just serve. You don't need, like, what they're saying. You don't need a degree to serve. You don't need your verbs and your nouns to conjugate. You just serve. Get out there and do something. Many people out here, they're kind of lost and wondering what to do with themselves. They're suffering from hard times. Their business might be doing badly. Their personal lives may be in shambles. But one thing about it, you can't go wrong by serving. No matter how bad you think things are for you, somebody else is doing worse. So what do? Stop feeling sorry for yourself and get out there and do something. Serve. Help somebody. Do something for somebody else. Take that emphasis off yourself and put it on others by serving. Welcome again. As the French say, CC la mission de radio marketing pulpit agents with Robert Gatewood, votre host, a bon evangel marketing. I'm in the studio today with Wena. Hey, Wena, how you doing over there?
Whoop, whoop. What's up, DMV? What's up, everybody?
All right, we have our special guest in the studio today, Dana Chanel.
Hello, how are you?
How you doing today, Dana? You've been a busy young lady today.
Yes, I have, but I mean, listen. We're all going to die one day. So today's not that day, so I'm going to do as much as I can.
You know, morbid on a brother. Now I'm gonna be walking across the street looking both ways.
I know,
and
right?
Watching what I eat and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, tell us quickly. Now, that's why I like to tell these stories. Tell us how you heard about the Marketing Pulpit Radio Show. I know your producer had a little hand into it, but...
Yeah, my publicist.
Okay.
And I thought, when I looked at the show, I thought it was such a clever name. I thought that was so awesome. And you guys have great radio voices, so I'm excited to be here.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Well, tell us about, give us a quick overview of what Dana is about.
Dude, I'm about Christian entrepreneurship. I think I've been talking and saying lately, like, you know, I don't believe everyone's called to entrepreneurship, because to me, entrepreneurship lays side by side with leadership, and not everyone's a leader, and that's 100% okay. But to me, entrepreneurship is something that we all have to be prepared to do, because the way that technology is moving, bro, everyone's losing their jobs. We still have kids going to college for degrees that wouldn't even get them paid. You know what I mean? And so for me, I just want to make sure that we don't just... I just want to make sure that we're not just praying for over our food at the table, but we're teaching each other how to put food on the table. You feel me? And so for me, I'm all about family economics, making sure that the family unit is first, and making sure you're the CEO of your family before you can be the CEO of a business.
Ooh, do it.
Teachers accused of promoting CRT by celebrating Black History Month. Teachers accused of promoting CRT by celebrating Black History Month. Man, we have gone into a dark hole. The people who are doing the dastardly deeds are now making it difficult and in some cases impossible to talk about it. Our forefathers have been lynching, raping, discriminating. And that's not everybody. I'm just telling you, there's certain segments of society. But now, the people that they have put on this earth now are fighting to make sure that we don't know about the deeds that they did. Because if you keep people in the dark, the good people won't come together. You got to keep people divided to beat them. If you have a jacked up idea that's never going to get off the ground, Robert Gatewood is going to tell you. All right, don't get mad at me now. I'm telling you, I'm saving you some heartache down the road. Let me tell you something else I'm saving. I'm saving the folks that you might do damage to if you get out here, start a business, and not taking it seriously, and people are transferring their accounts over to you. They're giving you their personal information, their financial information. They're trusting you because you told them you were in business. And they took you at your word. Don't betray that trust. So if you're going to go into business, let's go into it the right way. And if you're not sure, right here, Marketing Pulpit Show, I'm going to tell you how to do it.